Hello everybody, welcome back to my stream. Hope you're doing well. Happy Thursday. Sorry yesterday I wasn't able to do anything. I was really tired. And I just didn't feel like doing any work on my little side project. So that being said, let's continue with what we were working on. I was working on the task summary, and obviously it looks bad, like from a you know, from an aesthetic perspective. So let's just say the last 30 days, summarize the tasks, and there's my summary. Let me open up the code and let me make sure. I think no, it's still running. I mean, it's loading. So let's take a look at this form dialog. Yeah, so we can do this. Let's make it look about the same size as the task form dialog. You don't need, should have max width. Let's leave it at 860. That is better. Last 30 days. It looks a little bit better, but it could be even better than that. Okay, so I think that min width maybe should be 600. All right. I think that's good. And I know there was a bug with the print. All right, so let's go review the code. So we added the task summary dialog. These are just changes to the layout of the code. All right, is there not a category group already? Why am I... Why are we doing this? I usually like to have most of my types centralized. So I think that I'm gonna centralize that. Because we have the dialog props, that's normal. Category group by category. Using a map, since map eliminates any duplication for both the categories and the groups. I'm just curious what would happen if I just right click. Right. We're supposed to be printing this entire div with pt fast summary print. I need to fix that too, but right now I'm more focused on this. How can I get the... Wait a minute. Document that get only by the print style. But I thought I removed it. I think the issue is with the fact that it's removing it, maybe? This right here. Let's comment this out. Let's print it as a PDF and see. Let me undo this. I mean, if it's not in the preview, I would imagine that whenever you print it, it would not be there as well. There you go. Oh, it's under document. Yeah, that's what I figured it would be. I don't think it's so much an issue with the code itself. I think it's an issue with the dialogue, because what's happening is when I click on print, I was able to see that, but I was able to see this. Watch. If I print it right here. You'll see what I'm talking about. Oh, now it's not showing that. Oh, wait. Oh, no, that is correct. I was looking at the URL, but I remember I'm working on the development when I'm working on the virtual machine. Okay. Earlier when I printed it, it was showing this dialogue. it's not showing anything. I changed that though. I had already changed that, and that was not. I had already done that because I figured that that's what it was doing. Hmm. One reason I think that that might be is because if we look at this, I really think that we should target. You can see there's no body, but maybe we can I'll be right back. Sorry about that. it's doing the exact same thing I did. But I guess now it's trying to get, at least target the container for the dialogue. Ah, there we go. That's what it was. And now you can get the report. That looks really cool. Let's print that just to test it. Let's put it under documents. That's perfect. Imagine having that at work. You can just send that to your boss every week if that's what they want or that's what they need. That'd be perfect. You get to have the best of both, right? Like you get to manage your tasks in a nice application that lets you focus and really kind of hone in on your work. And then at the end of the day, it benefits you because you know, if like you're doing stand-up, you can pull up the task summary and just basically go, okay, this is what I did yesterday, this is what I have upcoming that I'm going to be working on. That'd be awesome. I mean, I could even use this. Luckily, I'm not in a place where I'm micromanaged. Like once a month I have to send out a report of what I did for the month, and you can only imagine how hard it is to remember everything you did for the whole month. But now that I'm using this, and now that I'm gonna be able to report, like pull up a report like this, I can just copy and paste the tasks that I completed and make my life so much easier. Perfect. The only thing is the HTML. Once that is created, oh, wait a minute, it did have this. I wonder if that's been causing some of the issues. Last 30 days. I think one thing that I'm gonna add is I am gonna add a custom option. So like when you click on custom, it allows you to select like a custom date range. So you can get all your reports for that. Within the time frame of what you want, the threshold, the interval. Another thing that I wanted to do is on the daily activity, maybe put like a line graph right above it that tells you like your start time, so that you can kind of more or less gauge you know, like your start time, like if is it constant, do you have fluctuations? Because anything that I believe in the sense that you don't understand that there's a problem until you visually can see it. And then, you know, if you want to become that person that wants to be focused on your tasks, and then, you know, you need to figure out a way that you can see any deficiencies that you have in your workflow, you can do this as well. Another thing that I noticed is that I would like to do is build a scenario where you can add templating to this. What I mean by that is because I've been reading a lot on development methodologies and on and basically the patterns that you go about when you're programming. And imagine if you can have a pattern established and a subset of tasks that are aligned with that. So if you have a project you're going to start, you know that there is task 1 through 10 that you need to take care of right off the bat. You should just be able to say, I have a template for this. I can click on this template and automatically generate the task for me that I need to do, at the commencement of a project, at the commencement of a feature, and then you have the full flexibility to do that. Also, another thing that I noticed is that you can also implement Copilot from Microsoft to where you can say, okay, Microsoft Copilot, I'm working on this project. Let's go ahead and start thinking through some of the tasks that are going to be associated with it. It may automatically, based on your description of the project, tell you more or less some of the general outline of the tasks that you're going to be undertaking to complete said project. And then you can click a button that says, okay, create tasks. And it automatically goes and creates that list of tasks that that you kind of had it help you with creating. It's just, I know I'm making it more work on myself, but it's just the things that I think about throughout the process of building really any product. Let's do some code review. So I was going to clean up this component. This HTML template can be exported, I think. So let's export that. So on the task summary dialog, let's create a utility for that. Because what benefits we get from that is that anytime that we need to modify something, you don't have to go through this entire, and plus, it does make it a 300 line component. It will allow you to create a utility, and then you have a shorter component, and at one centralized location where you can make any modifications if you need to change a certain like a certain style or certain layout. You can just do it in one centralized location. Create a print. Movie creation of the HTML to that utility. We can have clean component. I don't know if I should leave it on accept edits. Yeah, let's leave it on accept edits. Because we can have this function actually just receive props in the utility, and then we get rid of a lot of this. Also, I need to get rid of this. I'm gonna test something first. Okay, this looks a lot better. And now our test summary dialog is a lot cleaner. The other thing I would suggest is let's move this into app props. I usually like to have all of my properties centralized as well. What's funny is that it wrote this with app props, right? Like it knows that my app props are centralized, but yet it's still going ahead and created props. I don't know why, but I'm more prone to using types. Last 30 days. Wait, still working. Still working. The other thing I wanted to test was I need to get like a soundboard, and every time that I see something wrong, I'm gonna be like, "You done messed up, AA Ron." I think that'd be hilarious. I mean, although it's not necessarily 100% wrong, it's just not the way I would do things. You see this? This is a React element that is nested inside of the task summary dialog element, when they could have just been two separate elements, keeping things clean and organized. And no, it's just my pet peeve. I just don't like that. for the render group. So now this right here, it's going to move it out of here. It's going to create a separate element. And then I wanted to also make sure create a separate SCSS. Oh, that's some good coffee. What I'm doing also is every time that I build a feature, every time that I add like new code, I always like to review the code both for education, because there's sometimes that I'm just be brutally honest, AI does things more efficiently or better than I would have done, and I like to take an opportunity to make that a learning process, but also to find things that don't quite align with my coding style. Because the more and more it doesn't align with my coding style, the more and more I will find it harder in the future to do any kind of maintenance. It's like when you go to a new job and they're like, hey, by the way, Joe 5 years ago created this let's just go with Kyle. Kyle, years ago created this application. Congratulations, you support it now, you maintain it, you fix bugs. And it's very difficult, especially when you come, I'm gonna name names, but there's been scenarios in my career where I'll go behind somebody and work on a project, and it is just the messiest of code bases that I could ever imagine, and I struggle. Now, after the changes have been made, test once more. Everything's working well. Let's go do some code review. So very good. It created the task summary board, and it created its own type for it. I know, I like uniformity. I can attribute that to my military background. Everything must be uniform. All right, so now we have our task summary group, and this is a lot cleaner. And then we have our task summary dialog that will iterate and create the task summary groups. The only thing I notice that is incorrect is that we have in our summary, it says completed report, but yet we have completed tasks and ongoing tasks. I don't know that it needs to have word completed report. They should just say task summary, the name of the employee, the period, dates, the date of the report, so remove the word work completed report, as this report also contains ongoing tasks. Also add a label to the report date as well. No, just also add a label to the report date in the top right. Oh, I must have interrupted it by accident. Continue. Accidentally interrupted it. We don't need task summary report. Is it doing it because it says task summary report? Then if that's the case, we don't need Yeah, we don't need, this is duplicity, right? I mean, we don't need for it to say task summary in the dialog prompt and then task summary report. We technically only needed to say task summary report when we print it. So when I go to print, then I can see task summary report. Remove the title task summary report from the dialog. Only allow it to appear in the print, because right now we have dialog title and the report title. And the report title. So we need to remove it and only make it visible whenever it's printing. We can cancel out of this. So now, if we open it, I need to fix that. It's gonna annoy me eventually. Yeah, so now if I look at my last 30 days of work, here's my task summary, and you can see task summary here. The only thing I would say is the report date should flow to the right. Perfect. I like that better. And then we can actually say task summary. No, I'm gonna leave it alone. I was thinking that report, but technically you're already in report, so what would be the need? I understand that when you're printing it out, you would want to see that, but why would you need that on the dialogue? It's not something you need. All right. So task summary's been completed. Let's go review a little bit more of the code. This is a lot cleaner. This is way better. Look how clean this looks compared to how it was initially created by our AI. I mean, like I said, it makes you more efficient, but you definitely want to always keep track of how things are getting done by the AI and make sure that it meets your standard. And I think that they've created this new thing called skills. I think one of the things that I'm gonna do after I finish this project is I'm gonna really invest time in generating a library of skills that I wanted to apply whenever it's coding for me. And I give it a prompt to do a specific feature. I wanted to follow a certain structure and patterns to everything that it does, similar to what I would do. Completed task review, code review, and fixes. All right. So that is done. It's working great. Now the next thing, our reports look good. The only thing that I mentioned was that I wanted to add a line graph above the daily activities so that it correlates and tells you your like start time fluctuations. Like on this day you started at 6 in the morning. On this day you started at 9 in the morning. And it should align with how you set up your workly schedule. So if your work schedule is set from 6 in the morning to 6 in the afternoon, it should let you know the variance. And the variance would allow you to have a general understanding of these are my expected times of what I'm expected to work, or at least I've forecasted that I would work, and this is the actual. And then based on trends, you can adjust your schedule. I wouldn't say adjust your habit. I like to think of it as bowling. I used to be in a bowling league years ago. And in the bowling league, they told me, don't adjust the way that you throw the ball. Adjust where you stand in relation to the lane that you're bowling down. So if you see that the curvature of the ball is kind of throwing it too far to the left of the bowling pins, then move farther to the left so that way the curvature adjusts, you know. So you adjust your body and you don't adjust your technique per se, because your technique is always going to stay the same. It's harder to change that habit. It's harder to change your technique, but you can change where you are in relation to the bowling lane. I know this isn't a bowling channel. I haven't played bowling in years, but nevertheless, that is something that that's something that I can kind of take as a life lesson. Is that, you know, adjust myself to that. Give me 1 second. I'm getting a phone call. Sorry about that. Anyway, but I am gonna work on that next time, because I think we're almost at the hour and it's gonna take a while to do that. So we're gonna add a task here that we will work on a report to show start times fluctuation, and I'll probably spend an hour on that on stream, because again, we have to make sure that the feature is done correctly. And I'm gonna do some code review. You know what, I really think that we should create let's do some testing. So test start time fluctuation, and let's put 30 minutes on that, and we're gonna use that as test. And then we're gonna do code review, time fluctuation, and let's go ahead and add another 15 minutes to that. Yeah, 15 minutes code review. And now we have our kind of like our task that we're gonna work on the next time we meet for this project. But anyway, I hope you thanks for joining me. I really appreciate it. Again, I'm gonna work on that soundboard so that every time AI makes something I don't want, I'm gonna say done messed up, AA Ron. Anyway, catch you next time. Peace.